and I could see this potentially making me feel better the morning after. G'day cocktail lovers, I hope you've been keeping well. And in fact, this video is for you if you're maybe not keeping that well, if you have maybe overindulged in this holiday season. We've all been there, whether it's food or the alcohol or both. You know, it's a season where we can easily overdo it. And there's a whole spectrum of drinks that get cast as being hair of the dog that are meant to help you if you're hungover. And related to that are the digestifs, the things that are meant to help settle your tummy, meant to help you digest food. Big disclaimer, I don't claim either of these actually work, but I found this one and it was said like, honestly, if you've overindulged, this might actually help if you're feeling bloated, if it's a bit much. You try this. This is a digestif and it's called the Zeus cocktail. The first instruction for the Zeus is to do a rinse of Fernet Branca. Fernet Branca is an Amaro. It is very strongly flavored. It's got very sort of menthol, piney notes. Not for everyone. It's a bit of a thing with bartenders. They all want to do shots of Fernet Branca. Very strange in my book. A little bit of it goes a long way. This drink, it says to rinse your glass with Fernet. But here's a trick I learned with rinses. You can either put about a bar spoon, 5 mils into the glass, slosh it around so it coats the surface and tip it out. I think that's a waste because it's also good to chill your glass. So what I do is put ice in the glass you're going to be using and then pour, sometimes it's an absinthe rinse, in this case it's Fernet Branca, and I'm going to put, I don't know, half a shot in and just let it sit in there, and the ice will dilute a bit as well. But rather than throw this out, when it's time to pour the cocktail in here, I'm going to strain this off into a shot glass, and then we get to have a slightly diluted shot of Fernet as a chaser. An interesting element of this drink, it says we're going to use 24 raisins. Look, I grabbed a handful. I think that's actually 24. I just grabbed a handful of raisins. First thing you do, this is going to be a shaken cocktail. So we're going to put in 24, honestly, a handful of raisins into your shaking glass. To this, we're going to add 2 ounces or 60 mils of cognac, or brandy, honestly. The recipe I found said use Martell XO cognac. I'm kind of sick of people who go, cognac's automatically better. It isn't. Of course there are good cognacs, but there are good brandies made in other parts of the world too. I'm actually using a Martell. This is their Blue Swift. It's a VSOP cognac that was finished in bourbon barrels. Because of the strict rules around cognac, they can't call this a cognac because you're not allowed to finish in barrels like that. So it's a special thing, they call it Blue Swift, but it is a VSOP cognac being finished in bourbon barrels. But you use the brandy of your choice. Whatever you choose, we're going with 2 ounces or 60 mils of brandy. Now we want to muddle the raisins and the brandy just for about 10 seconds. We're not trying to liquefy the raisins, just trying to break them up a bit to get some of the flavor released into the cognac, and when we shake the cocktail, get some more of that raisin flavor spreading through the ingredients. We also want to add a little coffee liqueur to this cocktail. The recipe I saw said Tia Maria, but honestly, Tia Maria sucks. Probably offending any Tia Maria fans out there. If that's what you've got, go for it. I'm going to use some Mr. Black, and the recipe is just a small amount, like a bar spoon or 5 mils. But as we're talking about this being a morning after drink, if you really like your coffee liqueurs and you want to add a bit more, I'm not going to judge you, but the base recipe says to add 5 mils or a bar spoon of coffee liqueur. The final touch is some maple syrup as a sweetener. We want to add 1/4 ounce or around 7.5 mils of maple syrup. We add ice to our shaker, put it together, bang it in hard, shake that good and hard for about 15 seconds. We really want to pulverize those raisins and get that flavor running through there. Before we add the cocktail to the chilled glass, we want to strain out the Fernet Branca because it's just about a rinse of the Fernet, and my waste not, want not method, I'm going to strain that into a shot glass so we have it as a chaser, and then we can pour the cocktail. Now we're going to strain the cocktail into the chilled glass with the Fernet rinse. We do want to fine strain this because we don't want any little bits of the raisins in there. I mean, honestly, unless you want chunky raisins in your drink, but I'm going to fine strain the cocktail into the chilled glass. This is a morning after drink, so we're not going to mess around with a garnish. We just want to soothe our tum-tum, which theoretically this will do as a digestif. It's really pleasantly sweet with the maple and the raisin flavor coming through. The Fernet is just giving it a bit of bite, and the cognac's the backbone of the whole thing. It is actually really pleasantly, easily drinkable, and I could see this potentially making me feel better the morning after. Again, I don't want to encourage combating overindulgence by indulging even more, but hey, it's a tradition. I didn't start it. Look, if this is helping you out, I hope you do the like, the thumbs up, and hey, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, it would be great if you did. Hit the notification bell so you know when I upload again, as I will be doing. So whatever you're doing, yeah, if you need some hair of the dog to look after you, I won't judge, but look after yourself, look after people around you. Until I see you again, cheers.